So what if our online communities felt less like, well, noisy platforms and more like living ecosystems? Today, we're going to explore a network that's built on that exact idea, a community designed as a living system. Let's get into it.
Okay, so here's how we'll break it down. We'll start with what it means to be a living system, then look at its unique leadership model. We'll also cover its simple structure, its ecological design, and how it uses tech to build real connections and collaboration.
You know, it all really begins with a pretty fundamental shift in how we think. What if we saw community not as a static thing, but as a dynamic, living process? That one idea is the foundation for this entire system. Right, so here's the core of it. A community isn't a thing you just join, it's a dynamic process. And this part is absolutely key. Communities grow through participation, not consumption. So the measurement of growth isn't just about how many people are in it, but about the depth of their engagement. Because of that, the whole network is designed as an eco-village, not a centralized authority. So think of it more like a decentralized ecosystem. You don't have a single top-down structure. Instead, you have a space where different groups and projects can all coexist and thrive, while still being connected to the larger whole. So why build something like this in the first place? Well, because most public social media is optimized for noise, not for depth. This network is a direct response to that. It's an intentionally private space that's really designed for trust and meaningful collaboration, not for competing for attention. Now, a decentralized structure like this, it needs a different kind of leadership. And that brings us to this idea of hosts, not heroes. It's all about shifting the focus from one central figure to a model of shared facilitation.
So the founder's role here isn't to be some guru at the center of everything. Instead, he really functions as a systems architect. His focus is on using his experience to build the container, the structure, and the processes that allows other leaders and their own communities to really flourish.
And this means the network intentionally rejects that typical hero model, where one expert performs for a passive audience. The alternative is a host-centered system, one that's designed to empower lots of facilitators, who can then encourage active member interaction. This quote really gets to the heart of it. Hosts facilitate participation. They don't perform expertise for passive audiences. So success here isn't measured by how many people are watching, but by the quality of the engagement between the members themselves. But okay, how do you make a system like that sustainable? The key is building it on simple, shared foundations. And this isn't just an aesthetic choice, it's a structural necessity for the network to even survive, let alone thrive. Yeah, in this system, simplicity is a structural requirement, not a style choice. And the thinking behind it is pretty straightforward. Complex systems just burn out the hosts, and they create barriers that stop people from participating. So in this model, complexity is actually seen as a design flaw.
This idea of simplicity also applies to the financial model. The hosts all share the cost of the technology platform. But here's the crucial distinction. They share infrastructure, not income. Each host maintains their own independent business and their own revenue.
Now that eco-village idea we talked about, it's not just a handy metaphor. The whole network is ecologically oriented by design, grounding its principles in the actual practice of building relationships with the living world. So this ecological orientation, it completely changes the approach to growth. Instead of a big, splashy launch that's all about scale, the launch is just an ongoing, organic process. The real priority is making sure there's cultural alignment, not just expanding as fast as possible. And there's a project called Earthsong Revolution that's a perfect example of this in action. It basically functions as a lead magnet for the whole network, a simple, welcoming way in. The entry point is simple. Just say hello to a plant. That small shared action is the seed for deeper connection. And the theory of change behind all of this is incredibly simple, but also really profound. Relationship changes behavior. The whole system is built on this belief that fostering genuine connection with each other and with the living world is what truly drives meaningful action. So what about the tech itself? Well, in a system that's so focused on real-world connection, technology plays a very specific part. It's a tool that's in service of relationship, not a destination that's demanding our attention. The way to think about it is that technology is a support layer. It's like the trellis, not the vine. It provides the structure, but the living, growing community is what really matters. The platform's job is just to offer the tools that make participation as easy as possible.
And that's because, ultimately, the technology is never the destination. The whole system is designed to encourage and reward offline, real-world connection. The goal isn't more screen time, it's more life. Okay, so when you put all of these pieces together, the living system, the host model, the simple structure, what you end up with is a really powerful collaborative invitation. What's interesting is how it's designed to be both global and local. It's a global network that's built to support local connection. It uses a shared digital space to connect people from all over, but the explicit goal is to foster these distinct local groups in-person connection. And this really gets to the core motivation for the whole project. It's a direct response to a world where, as the network sees it, isolation is no longer a viable model for creating the kind of future we want.
So this is a shift to a framework of collective participation. It's an invitation to collaborate instead of competing, to let ideas cross-pollinate between groups, and to share the responsibility of stewardship. It's really a model for building both social and ecological resilience. This network is one experiment in trying to answer that question, and it leaves us with a pretty powerful thought to take with us. If we design more of our systems as living ecosystems, what might become possible?